A name linked to darkness. Michael Carl Geilenfeld was a 73-year-old man from Littleton, Colorado. A federal prison will now be his home for 210 years. His sentence was for abusing vulnerable children in Haiti. Michael Carl's behavior was a chilling reminder that evil can hide in plain sight. The guy is another Epstein. Geilenfeld started St. Joseph's Home for Boys. This was back in 1985 in Haiti. It was meant to be a safe place, a refuge for boys who had nothing. Orphans, impoverished children, vulnerable souls. He ran this home for more than 20 years. He held their trust in his hands and promised them care. Instead, he delivered terror. The very idea of sanctuary was violated. The abuse was horrific. It was sexual. It was physical. It was emotional. Geilenfeld preyed on the weakest, children who had already lost so much. This guy doesn't deserve life in prison. People like him should be tortured in the public square so that it can drive fear in the hearts of such devils. Matthew Gagliotti, a Justice Department official, spoke truth. He called Geilenfeld's actions intolerable. It targeted some of the world's most vulnerable children. He used his position of trust. How is it that this man was entrusted with so many youth with no checks and balances in place? How is it possible that this individual has been exploiting vulnerable black boys for over 2 decades? He knew how to deceive. But why are we surprised? I also hold some parents accountable for choosing to have children despite knowing they could not care for them, as well as the leaders who entrusted the future of our country to this man. They do not have anything that benefits the people. It's all for others. It's like selling your children and the future of your people to someone else. It's sad. I cannot place all the blame on that individual. We've been warned multiple times. He kept financial support flowing for his so-called humanitarian work. He operated several orphanages, not just in Haiti. He even opened one in the Dominican Republic. His network of control was extensive. He built an image. The image portrays a savior, and it is evident how much black people have been influenced by this particular concept of a white savior. This notion has been ingrained in their hearts and minds since the days of chattel slavery. Now, many find themselves trapped in this mental framework. Behind this mask, a monster lurked. What a surprise, right? The reality was a hidden nightmare. For too long, his secrets remained buried. Voices from the silence, the courage to speak. The silence was finally broken by brave souls. 6 key victims stepped forward. They were adults now, but the child inside remembered. They testified in court. They spoke of the abuse. They described the assaults. They shared the devastating impact on their lives. They had to relive their worst nightmares. Their words were a weapon for truth. One victim shared a chilling story. He was just 12 years old when Geilenfeld abused him, under the guise of teaching him a prayer. This detail is sickening. It shows the depth of manipulation, the perversion of something sacred. Trust was twisted into a tool for abuse. Innocence was stolen. Such betrayals leave scars that will never fully fade. The emotional wounds run deep. Prosecutors focused on these 6 brave victims. Their testimonies were central to the case, but they were not alone. Other alleged victims also spoke. They added their voices to the growing chorus. Their stories painted a fuller picture, a picture of widespread abuse. Each testimony was a nail in the coffin of lies. The collective strength was undeniable. Their willingness to speak changed everything. It was an act of incredible bravery. Paul Kendrick, who also accused Geilenfeld, he too suffered. He said he ran a kingdom down there. Those words paint a vivid picture, a picture of absolute power, of unchecked cruelty. It was just terrible, Kendrick added. Does this conviction erase the pain? Of course not. But Kendrick believes it offers something, a sense of dignity for the survivors, a validation of their suffering, an acknowledgement that they mattered. The Scales of Justice, A Path to Conviction. The long arm of the law finally reached Geilenfeld. He was arrested in January 2024 in Littleton, Colorado, far from the scene of his crimes, but not far enough to escape justice. This arrest was a turning point. It signaled that his reign of terror was ending. For the victims, it was a flicker of hope. Hope that their abuser will be held accountable. The wheels of justice had started to grind. A federal jury in Miami delivered its verdict. This was in February 2025. Geilenfeld was found guilty of traveling in foreign commerce, traveling to engage in illicit sexual conduct, guilty of 6 counts of engaging in illegal conduct abroad. These crimes occurred between 2005 and 2010. The jury listened. They weighed the evidence. The powerful testimonies of the survivors resonated. The conviction was a triumph for justice. The sentence came on May 23, 2025. 210 years in federal prison. This sentence speaks volumes. His sentence ensures he can harm no more children. The Department of Justice announced the sentence. It was a clear message, a message that exploiting vulnerable children will not be tolerated. The sentence acknowledged the deep, lasting harm inflicted upon his victims. It is some form of justice. Evidence of Geilenfeld's cruelty continued to surface, even years later. In 2019, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents made a discovery. They found photos of victims. Geilenfeld was carrying them. He was traveling through Miami International Airport, traveling to the Dominican Republic. Some of these photos were used to intimidate his victims. This showed his calculated cruelty, his ongoing efforts to control and silence. This evidence undoubtedly strengthened the case against him. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. See you next time.